What is up, guys and girls, and welcome to episode 3 of The Struggle at St James's Park, my beta save on Football Manager 2020. As you can see here, we have the schedule. We started the last save here. I must add that we did have a crash dump at some point, so I had to holiday the rest of it, just so we were caught up. We won away at Crystal Palace 4-1 with Almiron, Andy Carroll getting a brace and DeAndre Yedlin scoring as well. Dreher getting a consolation goal on the 52nd minute. We then went and played in the FA Cup third round at home against Bristol Rovers, where Holmes Dennis was sent off it after 68 minutes. 10 minutes later, Muto scored, putting us 1-0 up and giving us the bye for the next round. Burnley, we played at St James's Park with John Joe Shelvey getting the solitary goal that cost Burnley all the points. Then we went away to Anfield and got a 1-1 draw with Liverpool. St Maximin scoring on the 21st minute after Keita's first goal opener for Liverpool. Then we played at St James's Park against Everton, some may argue the weaker side of Merseyside, and lost 5-2. Not really sure what was going on there. And we got hammered, to be honest. Tosin with 2 goals, Andre Gomez with a goal on just before half-time, Delph and Iwobi adding to the nightmare of St James's, and Muto and Shah being our goal scorers. We then went into the 4th round of the FA Cup and drew 3-3 at home again. Not very good at home, Newcastle, at the minute. We just cannot seem to get decent results at home. St Maximum, Mutu and Morales scoring for Newcastle. Raga and Marquis scoring for Portsmouth. So then we went and another home game and lost 1-0 to Pookie. Basically Pookie. The Pookie show, as it was in real life. He only scored 1 goal, but we had almost 15 minutes with them down to 10 men and we still couldn't do anything. This home voodoo is really, really screwing us over. Then we went away to Villa Park and went 1-0 down after 2 minutes and then 2-1 up before 8 minutes. It was a bit of a weird game, to be honest. Wesley scoring a penalty, Andre Gray and Schaub scoring, and then Kieran Clark and John Joe Shelvey adding Newcastle's goals to make it 4-4. Then we go to Fratton Park to play Portsmouth in the second game, the 4th round replay. 3-2 winners this time. Notice it was away from home. That's probably why we managed to get a win. It was still quite a close game. They went 1-0 ahead. Maximum pulled it back with a equaliser. Then we went 2-1 up with Kraft scoring. Then we went 3-1 up with Morella scoring before Marquis got a final goal and we got through to the next round. Then we went away to Bramall Lane and we played Sheffield United, another away win. Alan St Maximin and Dwight Gale on the score sheet for Newcastle and Keane Bryant opening the scoring actually. So we were 1-0 down. The surprising game, not only was it a home game, but it was also against Chelsea and we absolutely smashed it. We were 3-0 up and then Pedro scored. John Joe Shelvey scored his second of the game and then Pedro scored his second of the game. So 3 players with a brace, Almiron with a brace, Morelos with 1 goal and Shelvey with 2 goals. Pedro also getting 2 goals. Finally, we played Watford away and we got a 2-0 win. Sean Longstaff getting himself on the score sheet along with Morelos. So all in all, it weren't a bad... I mean, we've had... If we look at it from the beginning, we had really good stream. Sorry, it wasn't starting. There was a really good stream to there. Really bad stream. And a mixed stream. So we had 3 wins, then we went 5 without a win, and then 4 wins. So who knows where this last one's going to go? Who knows? It could go anyway. Let's have a look at the competitions. We are currently 10th in the league, 40 points. We should be safe now. 23 points above the relegation zone, but it's not ruling us out of Europe yet. Do you know what I mean? We're only saying that we've played 2 more games than Wolves, so it is still going to be tough. But we are in the 5th round of the Emirates FA Cup against West Ham. Home game, so I'm not holding out too much luck for that one. The good news is, as we said in the last episode, we are losing Ki Sung Young. That's not the good news, but we're losing Ki Sung Young. He won't sign a new contract. But Morelos seems to have started scoring. He seems to have found his shooting boots, so that's good. We're not losing a top goal scorer anymore. He's a joint top goal scorer, but not losing a top goal scorer. Jetro Williams is also picking up some decent assists. We are still losing our highest average rated player though in Ki Sung Young. Board confidence is at 63%. For the league, 55% for the cup, and I think we got 50% of that. We got a decent thing for that. So let's have a look at the dynamics. We're doing decent now. Sean Longstaff wants to leave. I didn't. That was before the crash dump. I did give him a new contract. We'll do that very soon. But he will be getting a new contract. We currently have 2 players at the club who are unhappy. That's Andy Carroll wants to start more games. Well, he's not scoring goals. He's just not doing very well. No one agrees with him. One player disagrees. And we've got DeAndre Adlin wants to go out on loan. Again, no one's really that bothered. We have really good team cohesion, very good dressing room atmosphere, and very good managerial support. Squad-wise, we're coming out the other side of injuries. We've only got Yedlin injured. He's back in 6 days. We had a really, really rough patch where we had a lot of injuries through this period. So results probably aren't as bad as I'm making them out to be. Club vision, we're on a B-. We was on a C+ in the last one. So we have moved up a notch. We're playing attacking football. They're pleased with that. Reserving judgment on signing players under 22 for the future, signing players under the age of 23 for the first team, and do not sign players over 30. We do need to bring in a couple of more players in the middle of the pitch, so we will be doing that. We are on course with working with our budget. Premier League mid-table, very pleased with that. Reached the FA Cup 5th round, pleased with that because we've got there. We reached the 4th round, past that, and he's still looking to sell the club. We have got 19, just under £20 million in the transfer budget, so we will be looking at spending that at some point. I'm not in any rush. I don't really like buying players in the beginning of the game. In the first season, I try and see what players I can kind of keep and work around. And then by the end of the season, we will sort of look at, building on. Development centre, we've got a couple of players that are looking very promising. We've got Joe White, who looks pretty good, an attacking midfielder. He can also play as a defensive midfielder. 17 years old, he's pretty good, potential 4-star, and you can see there his stats are improving. I think he's going to be in the first team at some point soon, maybe only as a cup player, but to start with. But he's coming along. 17 years old, Joe White. Rolando Aarons is someone I actually really like in real life, but he's not really doing much in the game at the minute. He's got absolutely blistering pace and acceleration, and he's got a 3.5-star potential. But his flair's good as well. I always liked him as a player. In the game, he's just not really living up to his potential. 6.7 million. It might be worth getting some money in for him. Elliot Anderson is another one who's looking to break into the first team sooner rather than later. £42,000 he's worth. AMC and MC natural. He can play on the left and right wings as well, which is good because we need players there. 19 determination. I do love a determined player, and all round for a 17-year-old, he's looking pretty good. 4-star potential, and hopefully he will be making his mark sooner rather than later too. Daniel Barlaser is another one, a central midfielder and a defensive midfielder, deep line playmaker. And he's another one who's in real life, he's a bit hit and miss, but he's looking like he might be okay in this. And then you've obviously got Matty Longstaff and Freddie Woodman, who are our first team candidates. They look like they can jump in the squad pretty soon. Finances, we have made a 400,000 loss this month. That's not great. But we do have a 53 million overall balance and nearly 20 million in the transfer kitty. We are on course to pass the Premier League financial fair play regulations and also the UEFA Champions League financial fair play regulations, which doesn't mean anything to us really because we're not going to be in that for a long time. Expenditure, where did we spend 33.57 million? That seems a bit weird. Income. So we've not been bringing in that much. We brought in 36.75, 33.57. Okay. So we're not too bad in general terms of finances. We are looking okay. So Joe White is our hot prospect. We've just taken a look at him before, and he does look pretty good. Let's have a quick look at the team report. So you've got general performance, a physically strong squad with a little to worry about in that department. There is not a great deal of quality depth outside the first team amongst players currently at the club, hence why we're going to be looking at building on the team rather than, a fire sale. We want to look at the players we can keep and work around them. This is a brave and committed squad, which is good. 22 of a total of 70 assists in the last 41 matches have come from crosses. So, we're crossing, we're getting the crosses in. St Maximum is so good at that. Almiron's the one that sort of like runs it into the box. And I say runs it into the box, is what I mean is he runs it into the player in the box and loses it so the opposition can, clear it. Conceding 16 of the 44 assists conceded in the last 41 matches have come from through balls. Formations used in their previous 25 matches, Newcastle have used 7 different formations. Their most commonly used tactic was 4-2-3-1, which is this one here, 4-2-3-1. Wide, which they used for 848 minutes out of 2,346 minutes. Formations faced. In the previous 25 matches, Newcastle United faced 17 different formations, most commonly facing the tactic 4-2-3-1 wide, which they played against for 771 minutes out of 2,346 minutes. The tactic looks okay. Strengths, some weaknesses. We've got a fair amount of strengths. We've got a lot more weaknesses that we need to work on. So he's our top goal scorer, may I add, and it's only good enough to rank him in the 25th in the competition. Hang on a minute, there's only 20 teams in the competition. Player-wise, I'm guessing that means, which isn't too bad. Although, if there's, say, 2 strikers per team, that's only 40. So, yes, it's not too bad. And he's going to anyway. Let's just hope we can get the best out of Morelos and we can get the penalty taking is an area of concern. We've got a lot to look at. So this is what we're going to be working on over the rest of this season to take us into next season. So that is all we've got time for today, guys. If you've enjoyed this video, hit that like button. If you're new around here, subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future uploads. And if you want to hit me up in the messages, just drop a message in the comments below and I will always try and get back to you. I will see you in the next episode, guys. Peace out.